Eat me, eat my ass, eat yourself, suck my dick, bite me, lick my butthole. I'm Acadia Einstein, and this is Strangeful Things.
Sheltering in place is not advised, as your survival cannot be ensured in that scenario.
Well, this practically caused me to just get you destroyed.
Unsolved, unresolved, and super complicated.
Strangeful Things.
Look at Mel's shaking her head.
Those are the last things I ever want to hear out of Acadia's mouth.
Oh, no, they're not.
I am thoroughly disgusted.
I can think of way worse things.
I don't know.
Well, I'm going to tell you about a worse thing.
All right.
My name is Jennifer Sandwich, and I am here with Mells Bells, Mr. Shooey, and Acadia Einstein. How's everyone doing this evening?
Marvelous. Just marvelous.
Doing good. Can't complain.
Couldn't be better.
Sounds exciting. I'm so glad that everyone's super enthused.
Shooey sounded very insincere.
Yeah. Come on,
Did
you
I?
all do.
As good as, can be expected, I think,
Yeah, I think it's got to do with, staying at home. I literally don't have anything going on except sitting in my house.
Yeah.
I love it.
Which is good.
This is my thing.
I love my family. I love everybody around me, but being in the same house with my wife, my 2 college-age daughters, and my younger college-age daughter's boyfriend for over 2 weeks has, it can be a little much. I love them dearly, but that's a lot of people in a small house. And 2 dogs and 4 cats.
Oh my God.
Because they brought their cats back from school too, so...
Jesus.
Oh, there's so many creatures in your home.
There's a lot going on.
Nothing changed for me until Joe started working from home, and I'm like, what's all this goddamn noise? Because there's someone else in the house.
Today we're talking about autophagy. It's self-cannibalism. It's the practice of eating oneself, also called autocannibalism or autosarcophagy. A similar term which is applied differently is autophagy? I don't even know if I'm saying that right. But that specifically denotes the normal process of self-degradation of cells. While almost an exclusive term for this process, autophagy, nonetheless, has occasionally made its way into more common usage. Tell you a little bit about what this is. There is a guy who ate his own hand. So the homeless Caucasian guy, known only as MM, showed up in a medical clinic supposedly to sign up for Medicaid. The intake clerk sees the man and that he had cut off his own finger and was eating it. So he's chewing on his hand. When asked, MM said that he had previously cut off a tattoo and had eaten it, and also showed it to the medical staff that there was a scar on his hand where his thumb and forefinger were that he'd cut a big chunk of his flesh off, and he ate it. So
his name is
It's funny because I know someone with the initials MM, and that person has a peach tattoo. So I wonder if his tattoo is some sort of yummy fruit, or maybe a T-bone or cheeseburger.
It was an M&M. And since it wasn't real, it melted on his finger, so he ate that too.
I like it.
Doctors questioned MM, not Marshall Mathers, about his reason for doing it. He shrugged and said, just wanted to say he ate 2 body parts. Something to brag about, I suppose.
Yeah, and I think he's pushing the whole 2 body parts with a little piece of skin and a finger. I don't know that counts as 2.
Right.
Yeah, I think you'd have to eat all your skin for it to count as a
You're
body
right,
part.
to be a whole part.
That's true.
Okay, so the word autosarcophagy is derived from the Greek auto, self, sarcophagy, eating, self-eating. 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 That's Sesame Street. Was that
Eating the self.
I thought that was Electric Company.
Electric Company.
It was
That's
Electric
right,
Company.
That's right. Yeah.
We're old.
The word autophagy has a different meaning from autophagia. Autophagy is a cellular process. Autophagia or autosarcophagy is a mental condition of consuming yourself. Now, before you get too grossed out, guess what? You're doing it right now. Probably. You do it too. Even you, Acadia. You chew the inside of your cheek. You swallow your cheek cells, which is technically eating yourself. Lip biting. You ever peel the skin off your lip when you're biting it, and then you chew it up a little bit and you swallow it?
Acadia's gacking.
You know.
Well, I bite my hangnails constantly, and I would like chew my cuticles until it looks like I've been like scrapping with a weed eater.
I don't do it. I can't.
Oh, I don't believe you.
It's true.
Does
It's
this drive
true.
you nuts?
Like, yeah, because it's like I have, I don't know, autophagia phobia, because like to the point where everything about it makes me gag.
Really?
When I was a kid, my friend's brother fucking saved he saved his toenails for a whole year.
What?
In a jewelry box, and then on my birthday, and I don't know why I thought he got me like something for my birthday, but he's like, "Hey, look at this!" And I open up the box, and he hit the bottom of it, and it went all over my face.
It wasn't a ring.
Oh no! Oh,
That's disgusting.
it was attempted murder.
Well, what did you do? What'd you do to him?
I took much later. When you heated up the pizzas in the microwave, and you put it on the top of the box.
Yeah.
I just took the box right out of the microwave and slapped it on the side of his face.
Oh, man. Oh.
So mean.
How's some
Rebecca.
second-degree burns for you?
What do you think about that? Hit me with a toenail
That'll
again.
teach you.
Like a slap to the face for a bunch of toenails.
Right.
Yeah, but I still lost the battle.
Yeah, look at you. You're traumatized for life.
Oh.
So autophagia is officially classified as a non-suicidal self-harm, or self-mutilation encompasses a lot of different behaviors. Biting, branding, picking at your own skin, hitting or punching yourself. Does that mean like picking zits, like picking at your own skin also? I know. It's a lot to take in. Hey.
I can't. I'm not going to make it through this episode. Like, so you can yeet 10 babies into a fucking well, and I'll just be like, oh, and we talk about this for 2 seconds, and I'm going to die.
Popping a whitehead kills him.
But there's also punching yourself, cutting, bone breaking.
No.
Oh, God. What?
Oof.
That brings me back to BIID, where people like to cut off their own limbs because they feel like they don't feel whole unless they have less of themselves. So,
Wow.
Headbanging, drinking harmful chemicals, inserting inappropriate.
Whoa. Let's not be all judgy here. What's inappropriate to some people is very appropriate to others.
Okay. Appropriate, non-judging, or appropriate, or painful objects into one's own body.
And some people's pain is other people's pleasure.
Treasure.
True. Like Albert Fish, right?
Oh, yes.
I'm
yes.
pretty sure that was for pleasure. I don't feel like that was for pain at all.
I don't. Did you ever see that X-ray?
I did. Yeah, with all the pins up his butthole. I was
Oh
like,
my
wow.
God. I can't even.
So many.
What?
So many. So many.
Too many.
Oh.
Yeah.
He wanted
like
to pick
a
up his own...
high-powered magnet.
No, you can judge
Yes,
there.
exactly. You could pick up his whole sack with a magnet.
Oh, they were everywhere. It was...
Excessive scratching. I think I'd throw that one in with the picking at your skin, maybe. But causes, I feel like I want to pick at my skin now. I don't know why.
I've been picking at
Don't
my
do it.
thumb.
Don't touch your face. You'll get the corona.
Oh, stop.
You'll get the
Don't eat
Rona.
your face.
Don't want the Rona. Okay, so causes of self-harm can include mental and emotional disorders. I think psychologists say there are 6 reasons. I think dementia is also, things like that. Some people do it to distract themselves, to refocus their attention, get control of their minds. Some do it to release tension associated with strong emotions or anxiety or overwhelming thoughts, to feel something physical when they are dissociated, to express strong emotions that they can't articulate any other way. So to punish themselves if they feel ashamed, to experience temporary but intense euphoria or high that can come immediately after self-harm. So, yeah.
Speaking of shame, and earlier you said headbanging.
Yes.
So, remember the band Motorhead?
Yes.
Remember Lemmy?
Of course.
Well, once
R.I.P.
he was ashamed because he couldn't show up for the gig because he fainted and hit his head from getting too many blowjobs.
Oh
What?
my god.
There's really such a thing as too many.
Apparently,
wow.
it can make you faint.
Wow. You can faint from copious amounts of blowjobs, huh?
Sadly
much
enough,
head.
I've never experienced that many.
Too
That's
much
like
head.
losing your steak and eggs over and over again. Right. Wow. That's
You just keep that in
Lemmy
your pocket. Next time you're at a party, you can whip that baby out.
Literally and figuratively.
That's right.
Yeah, there you go.
So what do you
With
think about the
consent.
upcoming presidential election? Well, did you know that Lemmy...
Have you heard about Lemmy's?
I hope none of the candidates pass out from too many blowjobs
God.
before the big debate.
Well, since they're all like 90.
Too many would be one.
I've seen that picture with Bernie's hog, so we don't.
It has the same hairdo that he does.
And yells a lot.
Oh my
Oh my
word.
Get
god.
over here.
Autophagia is separated into two types: involuntary and voluntary. Involuntary autophagia includes pica,
Pica.
Pica.
PICA, delusions, dementia, she talked about before, developmental delays, and Lesch-Nyhan syndrome. Hey, now we're going to get serious here. We probably won't get too serious. So pica is eating substances that have no nutritional value. But some argue that pica isn't under the umbrella of autophagia because technically the body could be considered nutritional. Yeah.
Yeah. Not me.
Not this body.
Not for Acadia. You and I just cannot believe that, though.
You can't believe that Acadia is not nutritional, or
I should think that's very easy for everyone.
I
to
was
believe.
about to say
Right.
that's fairly simple.
I'm allergic to vitamins.
Pica got its name from the Latin word magpie, the bird magpie that eats anything. There's a large spectrum that pica encompasses, including ice, chalk, hair, which is also autophagia if it's swallowed. Chewing doesn't count, Acadia. Gotta swallow it.
That's what she said.
No. Paper, paint, like eat lead paint, drywall. What? I can't even. Okay, sharp objects, metal, stone, wood, dirt. I've eaten dirt. Tastes like eggshells. I've also eaten eggshells.
Recently? Or is this stuff you did
no.
as like a kid?
No,
You're the worst
no.
house at Halloween.
Giving out dirt bags.
I made some egg salad today. We have some fresh shells.
But I dropped it. I just put it back in the
I
dish.
already ate the middle out of it.
Oh my.
Metal, stone, wood, dirt, fibers, glass, and even feces. Yes, poop.
Oh, but who would want to eat their poop?
Maybe they really liked what they ate yesterday and wanted to give it another shot.
Ugh.
Oh, I like it.
Leftovers.
Mmm.
And you don't even have to put it in the microwave.
It's already warmed up.
Well, on a fairly serious note here, I will share this with everyone that I guess technically I did have pica when I was younger.
Oh, really?
What did you eat?
Yeah. Well, I ate chalk, but it made me fart. So
Wait, so that was the problem, the farting, not the fact that you ate chalk. It was just...
well, yeah, because when I found out that Tums existed, it was like bye-bye chalk and bye-bye farts at the same time. It was a win-win.
Well, that's...
Is that like something you see on like a Crayola chalk, like will cause farting?
Technically, it shouldn't cause you to fart. That's the whole point of
That was just
Tums,
something
right?
special with you?
Yeah, it was just, I had an irritable bowel. That was a totally different
Fuck, 'cause
thing.
it was full of chalk.
Because it had all that chalk in it.
This is true. This is true.
This episode brought to you by Tums. We're not chalk.
We don't cause farts.
Sponsor us.
Sponsor us, Tums.
Some of the causes linked to pica include mineral deficiencies, anemia, pregnancy. This pregnancy?
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
No. Did you eat weird things when you were pregnant?
Well, no, and I will say this: the chalk thing, it does come to find out I did have anemia. I was anemic, so that's why I was eating it. Once I started taking iron supplements, that got straightened out. Now, in pregnancy, I didn't have pica when I was pregnant. I say thankfully because I was scared I was going to revert back to my old ways. But
To your chalk eating.
And now it's all dry
to
erase,
the
so
old
you'd be like,
days.
no!
Right. Well, it's all on the iPads now when
Right.
needing electronics.
You can't even smell it. That's sad.
No. But I will say that when I was pregnant, though, the doctor did, warn me about pica, and I always told me to let her know if I ever had cravings for something weird, like gravel, rocks, or
What?
yeah, because I don't know if it's something about a nutritional thing, right? Because you're pregnant, the baby's taking nutrients, maybe you're not getting enough.
Yeah, and the baby's just like, attention.
Yeah,
Eat gravel.
Go make a rock, smoothie and call me in the morning. But
Wow.
never had that. Never had that.
Obsessive compulsive disorder. That seems obvious to me, but I'm no psychiatrist. Autism, schizophrenia, dementia again, sometimes just general biological abnormality.
Well, remember my Aunt Nora who ate toilet paper from the Halloween episode?
Yes.
She would keep dry, toilet paper in her pocket, and she would just take pieces out and eat it all day. And if her sisters saw her, they'd yell at her, but she kept it on the down low. What? But I don't know what made her do it.
Well, if she did it now, she'd be a fucking wanted woman. Like, she'd be on a head on a pike.
Yeah, TP's harder to find than gold.
We're screwed.
Oh.
But I have allergies, so I'm thinking.
This is where that bidet would come in handy that I mentioned last time.
It's supposed to be here. It's April 6th now, so
It's
we are
back ordered.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, that's good. Hello.
Yeah. I do, but TP is more valuable than gold, and I don't have any gold in my house. I have a tiny bit. Okay, so another reason to have it would be delusions. Dementia and Alzheimer's, not really understood why, but patients have been found to self-mutilate to the point of autocannibalism. But it's suspected to be related to the delusions of suspicions that can often occur with the disease. And I'm imagining, like, get these ants off me kind of situation, but also I'll just eat them.
Oh, yeah.
Some patients are convinced there's a camera embedded inside their body and they have to get it out, and eating the tissue is the only way to ensure it's gone. Okay. That was in the research, so I don't know. Yeah. Schizophrenia can also manifest in the same delusion as dementia, as there's sometimes a manifested feeling of grandeur that if you eat your own body, somehow you build up an immunity and you have superhero powers to eat yourself.
An immunity to what? Yourself?
Right? I don't understand that.
Maybe an immunity to, it might just be like some people that wild out on eating vitamins. Maybe they're like, if I eat all this elderberry, which is actually your finger, then I won't get sick.
The latest superfoods, acai, quinoa, and my thumb.
Yeah, exactly.
The intense fear of being under surveillance is a hallmark of schizophrenic autophagia. I don't know what this would cause. If you think somebody's always watching you, would you be like putting on a show, watch me eat 2 body parts?
Technically, if you eat parts of yourself, you're harder to see.
That's what I was thinking. For real.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, I was thinking they just eat themselves so they can't be watched anymore.
I'm getting smaller.
You can't see me.
There's also developmental delays. According to an article in the Journal of Pediatric Neuroscience, people with severe developmental delays are 3 to 4 times more likely to have psychiatric disorders, to include autophagia, than the general population, I should say. There was a case study, and this is so sad. It's a 7-year-old boy with severe developmental delays who showed really terrible injuries around his mouth that looked like a cleft lip, cleft palate, but it was actually self-inflicted cannibalism. The damage was so severe from him biting where he could reach, or picking and eating, that most of his upper lip was gone, as was his nasal septum. The adjoining jaw damage was so bad it caused him to lose all of his front teeth. How do you?
Fucking terrible. I know every single person listening to this right now is trying to see if their bottom teeth can reach their nose.
Oh my!
Because it can't.
I mean, it's
how do you?
It's
do
like
it?
A snake.
Jesus
I mean, they're the only
poor
animal
kid.
I know that can dislocate
yeah.
their jaw and
Yeah.
to make it bigger.
Dude, there are snakes that eat themselves. Even isn't there a snake that eats itself? I saw it in the symbol thing on the internet.
It on Skyrim.
Okay, whoa. Right. Are you talking about don't tread on me?
They'll step on snake.
Don't think that snake's trying to eat himself, though.
Another thing is this weird syndrome called Lesch-Nyhan syndrome, also called LNS. It's a rare inherited disorder caused by an enzyme deficiency, which is produced by a gene mutation in the X chromosome.
Oh.
Listen up. Yep, that's right.
Okay, men's. Better listen up.
It affects 1 in 380,000 live births and only presents in males. Females are only carriers.
Figures, it's just another thing men have to endure in this world.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Well, you do have the option to get to faint from lots of blowjobs.
Yeah, well,
do they, though?
yeah, but you get to eat
Yeah,
gravel.
Oh, what are we one-upping each other now? Whoa. You carry a baby and eat rocks. What about that?
So the syndrome has 3 main telltale signs. Neurologic dysfunction,
All right, I got one.
behavioral disturbances, including autophagia, and excessive uric acid buildup.
So gout.
Yes. Yeah. And gout is some serious shit.
Yep.
It's I don't know. I used to joke about it. It rhymes with things, and I didn't know.
Well, they used to call it like the disease of kings because, you'd get it from eating rich food, which I guess kind of speaks to what our bodies are made of.
Really? Oh, I didn't know that. I was
Yep.
wondering what that was and why people got it.
Yeah.
It
and-
forms crystals in your meat, and they're very hard. They're like real, like rock crystals. So that's why it's so painful to touch, because if you touch somebody's foot when they have gout, you're basically grinding all those rocks that are in their foot
my
meat
God.
into them.
Yeah.
That's horrible. Horrible.
This is true. My dad has gout, and when he gets a flare up, I mean, his feet swell up like the size of his head, and that's not an exaggeration.
Oh my God.
And he can barely walk, and like Acadia said, you could just tell it looks like it's hot to the touch.
Yeah. And like putting a sheet on it would be too much pressure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh my God, that sounds horrible. Yeah. Oh, well, I don't want to be any older than this, but then I kind of do. I don't know. Well,
I'm mixed. I don't want to eat gravel, but I want a big fat foot. I don't know. I'm a rich tapestry.
So self-injury usually begins around the age of 3 and starts with biting of the lips and tongue.
Jeez.
That's so specific.
Yeah.
Sometimes consumption is included.
Oh, my.
Self-harm is apparently 85% of the cases. It's usually fatal due to kidney failure, is one of the results of hyperuricemia. Hyperuricemia? Like gout, I guess.
Yeah.
Severe cases have a lifespan prognosis of 10 to 20 years. Very young.
It's terrible.
So you're not living past your mid-20s.
No. But less severe cases, you can live longer. I think you guys are safe.
Have you seen
Taking
Acadia?
the slow road.
Yeah, he looks about 20.
A multiple of 20.
In dog years?
I try to be nice. I heard Acadia had a bad day, so
Oh.
I hope that made your day.
No, he didn't
That's
tell
right.
anybody. He didn't tell us he had a bad day,
Yeah.
so sorry.
So I don't have to be nice about it.
So pile on. No, it doesn't matter.
There's also just intentional. You just want to do it. Just also officially cannibalism. Body modification is auto-vampirism and vorophilia.
Does that count?
I don't know. Do you? I mean, like, okay. Well, can we talk about vorophilia for a second here? Because it's something I was not familiar with, and I looked it up. You can't really like eat somebody whole.
No.
That
But
happens
that's
in
what they
weird
want.
cartoons.
Yeah. That's according to Reddit and the things that people post and say, oh, I want to talk to somebody about this or I want to talk to somebody about that. The vor people are always like, oh, imagine what it would be like to get completely digested by me. And I don't know what happens after that. Like, it seems like it would be a pretty short conversation.
Yeah.
I ate you.
Yeah,
And good night.
Who do you even say goodnight to?
Yeah, I know.
So, it's a weird world out there. But I'm not here to kink shame. Sometimes eating your own flesh is part of extreme body modification. There's a case involving a 28-year-old Caucasian woman who started cutting out patterns in her wrists and eating the skin. She also underwent other types of body modification, including piercing pretty much everything. And she had surgery to get her tongue spliced. But first, she tried to do it herself with a tightened string.
Ugh. I wonder if she cut out a puzzle piece like she was Jigsaw. Also, what is tongue splicing? Was she splicing it to somebody else's tongue? Like, I don't know.
No, tongue
Just sew it
splicing
together?
is when you cut it to make it look forked like a steak.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
I mean, I don't have
But she
personal,
did it with a string?
Oh. Yeah, but how would you do it with a string? Like a... What,
I
would
guess
you,
like
put a
sawing
needle
it like
in and, oh no!
Well, that's why she...
Ooh, it's like flossing.
I could see like using like a wire, like a piano wire or
Oh,
a
you're
violin
great.
string, but not a...
This section brought to you by the Superficial Gallery Celebrity Tongue Section. Where none of them are cut in half with string.
Ooh, my tongue just feels like I don't want to talk.
Ugh.
Yeah, that
Mel
one got
said
me.
the floss thing, and now I'm all freaked out.
Yes. Auto-vampirism? Is that where we're at here?
Yep.
I can't get over
Yep.
this tongue situation. Okay, so that's when you drink your own blood. I feel like this is something that, if a different life, I could have probably got down with. It's usually linked to sexual gratification because everybody loves a vampire, right?
Well, yeah, that's what the vampires. It's very sensual when they seduce the person and they bite their neck and they drink their blood. And you always see the person that they're doing that to in like a state of euphoria. You know?
Oh yeah, I'd be a vampire. It looks pretty hot.
There's nothing hotter when you're having sex than, blood everywhere, I gotta tell you.
So it sounds like we've got to hit a nerve with you too.
I'm getting all wound up just thinking about it. I'm gonna cut myself and run upstairs.
Man, we're going to have to do a crime sandwich on you someday, I can see. So if you're drinking your own blood, that's pretty much like masturbating.
Okay.
Sorry. Like vampire masturbating, though. It's just like, oh, drink
That
my
is
own
true.
blood. Oh, give me 5 minutes in the shower. Okay, and then, of course, there's vorophilia. You just want to suck somebody down. What?
This makes me feel uncomfortable because something that has always been, and maybe it's a Southern thing, but it's like when you see a cute baby, you're like, oh, I could just eat you up. Like, this is going to make this very bad for me now in the future. Because
Donate babies.
I'm just going to want to say it, but then I'm going to think about, not literally,
like,
baby.
Yeah.
I don't really want to eat you,
don't
baby.
go, oh, I want to practice vorophilia on you.
Yeah. Hopefully a
Baby.
Give
newborn
me back
won't
my
have...
baby, ma'am.
Yeah.
So,
Hopefully a newborn won't know these terms, but...
yeah. They're not paying attention. That's just so strange to me, though. So when cannibalism takes form in small sections, vorophilia just eat the whole thing at one time.
Yep.
So eat a dick, even though you can't really do that.
Is that true?
That's right. Speaking of eating a dick, the most notorious case of this is Jürgen Brande and Armin Muse, the Rottenburg cannibal, and you can go back and listen to the Cannibalism Part 1 earlier in Strangeful. Brande put an ad on the internet that said, I'd like to have somebody come over so that I can eat them and kill them. And some guy was like, yeah, the other guy was like, okay. He actually showed up and they cut off his dick and they tried to eat it. And it was too chewy, so they cooked it. And then he burnt it. And then they got in an argument about
Charred
it.
dick.
So they sauteed it in butter and seasonings, and they still couldn't eat it because it was too chewy. And all of this is on a videotape in some German fucking police station, and they'll never ever release it. But that's how they know everything that happened, because they videotaped it all.
Oh my god! And then they ruined the dick.
Yeah.
You you can just go out to the store and get another one.
This is a botch
Right.
job. Well, there were two of them. They could have.
Don't you prep? Don't you get a cookbook first or something?
There's no cookbook for that.
Marinate it or something overnight.
Marinate it.
Okay. Oh, I'm a little confused. So this guy, but he cut the guy's dick off, but both of them were going to eat it?
Yes. He didn't
Okay.
die right away.
He didn't bleed out.
No. He stuck around long enough to try and eat his own dick.
No, he wanted to make sure to taste his own dick.
I just...
A dream all men kind of have a
I
little
guess
bit.
so. I guess
Well,
this dick ain't
No.
going to eat itself. Somebody's going to eat it, right?
and I want to pass out, so.
Another thing that maybe the ladies eat would be their placenta. A lot of women tout the benefits of consuming your own placenta. There are claims for many celebrities that the placenta gives you energy and can keep you from postpartum depression. In a recent study out of Canada, 23% of the 1,088 women surveyed said that they consumed their own placentas. Don't do that.
That's a lot of women eating placenta.
Well, the problem here is that people like Gwyneth Paltrow, they tell you, oh, this is what you should do. But she also sells a candle right now that smells like her pussy. So...
Honest, fuck. If I was on fire and she told me to put it out, I would fucking second guess it.
I mean...
It's like a Yankee candle with Gwyneth Paltrow's lady parts on it.
Yeah, you can look it up. This
I
is for
can't
real,
decide,
folks.
do I want Christmas wreath or Gwyneth's snatch?
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Merry Christmas to me. So, ladies, you don't have to eat your placenta and you don't have to smell her pussy in your home when you burn a candle either, okay? She's not all
God.
that.
So, did you ever did anybody ever ask you if you wanted to, when you gave birth? Were they like, "What do you want me to do with this thing?"
Well, yeah, because in reality there are places and they profit off of this type of thought process from women. There are places because I gave birth to James in a larger city. So there were services that would come to the hospital and take your placenta and crush it up and make it into like supplements and a vitamin form that you could take.
Excuse?
Or yes. Or they would like make you there were services that would cook it for you.
Jesus Christ.
So
People are fucking
after
stupid.
so after I had my child, I don't know if it is just nowadays, some places will just ask you, do you plan on doing anything with this? Like they asked me, do you plan on like putting his blood in a like cord, bank? And I was like, yes, I do want to do that.
Right.
In case we need to use those stem cells one day. And then they're like, how about the placenta? And I was like, I don't need that. Like, do I need it? And they were like, no, I was like, I don't know. Is this going to be like, if I get pulled over on the way home and this is how I prove that this is my baby? Like, use the placenta that came with it? But anyway, the nurse was like, so do you want this? And I was like, fuck no, just throw it in the garbage. I don't want that thing. Like, and they literally slide it into a hazmat bag and throw it in the trash. And I'm like, what?
Because you went, hey, my body specifically said not to keep that thing in me, so why the fuck would I eat it?
Hold on, let me call Gwyneth. No, like...
What are you going to do, make a baby Bjorn out of it so you can carry your baby in it forever?
I mean, I guess I could have dried it out like some jerky, but I wouldn't know. I mean, like, in all honesty...
placenta jerky?
Yeah, no. In all honesty, there's no reason for it. There's no reason for it, ladies, like, unless you just really want to do it, but I would advise against it, because I think you could get sick off of that, right?
Yeah.
Like,
It's waste product.
Yeah,
it's full of bacteria and other icky stuff. It's the filter for the blood to the kid, right?
Exactly. It's everything filtered out of your body and the baby's body during pregnancy. Why would you eat that?
Yeah. Hey, but you know what? A lot of animals do it. They'll do it. Cats, dogs, rats.
But they do it because they don't want to attract, like, prey. It's like an instinctual thing with them. Like, if they give birth and, they're, like, out in the wild or whatever, a prey could smell that and they could come in and get their babies. So, like, that's why I believe, do it. But we don't have to worry about that.
Because we have trash cans.
Yeah, at the hospital, like, ooh, I smell a placenta. I'm going to go in and kidnap some kids.
Right. Fingers crossed, there's no human that smells a placenta and wants to grab a kid.
Animals eat anything, though. They even eat their poop.
Yeah. My cat eats his own hair, but then he throws it up, so I guess that's...
Yeah, my cat walks around with litter on his face, so obviously he's been dipping his nose somewhere it shouldn't be.
That's why they're not the bosses of us, except kind of.
Yeah, except it kind of seems like that. Yeah.
You're supposed to clean that off of him, every day.
Excuse me.
We would call that cat pate. when we would catch our dog eating it, she'd have litter all around her mouth, and I'd be like, did you have some cat pate?
This has presented itself in the form of art.
Of course.
In 1996, a Chilean artist named Marco Evaristi, good, that's good, took fat from his recent liposuction and combined it with hamburger meat to make meatballs, which he served at a dinner party.
Well, I actually did some additional research on this, and what he did was...
You're into this, man.
Oh, well, because I want to make... Because, you're supposed to be using 80-20, and I didn't know if he was, like, over-fattening the meat. But, so what he did was... He displayed them in 13 tins, and what it was supposed to do was represent the Last Supper.
Oh,
where he got there, I don't know, but maybe he only had enough for 13, so he was like, what's a good thing that has 13 people involved? So in an interview, he was quoted as saying, "Firstly, I wanted to show people that meatballs made with my fat are no more disgusting than the meatballs you buy in a supermarket." Which I guess speaks to the supermarkets in Chile. I don't know. And then he said, secondly, it's a dialogue with a modern society that lives to eat rather than eating to live as it should be. You eat, and when you're fat, you go to a clinic, have an operation, have your fat removed, and you start to eat again. You know, most people don't start eating again by eating themselves, but I guess that was just his thing.
So is that just like this is a cycle. You never have to eat again. You just continue to eat your own fat, and then you get it removed, and then you eat it again.
There you go.
The best part about that
circle
whole
of
thing
life.
is picturing Jesus going, "This is my meatball," and passing it around. Peter's like, "I ain't eating it."
He gives like the "this is my body" a whole nother meeting. It's like,
That's
all
what I
right,
was thinking.
Yeah.
there's 13 of
No
you. I
one-
got 10 fingers, 10 toes. There's 13 of us. Okay, so I'll have a couple of toes left after we're done.
I mean, I think I would have pulled a Judas too if I'd showed up and it was like a bunch of lipo meatballs hanging around for me.
Are those meatballs? They're more like me balls.
Meatballs.
Or there's another person, Alexander Selvik. Wang Shoel ate a piece of his flesh after hip surgery. He accompanied the meat with potato gratin and wine. He also said he did it as a form of art. Come on. Wait, what?
That's
what?
why
Come on.
that's why they don't hang Alexander Selvik Wengshol in the fucking Louvre. Because eating your own fucking hip meat is not art, you
Right,
fucking
it's like
dink.
Wing Shoals schnitzel.
Oh, in the Wengshol. Welcome to the Wengshol snack bar. The best part of the Louvre.
I have watched this. Actually, this is a BBC science guy named Greg Foote. Huh?
Oh,
Greg Foote,
that's
right?
ironic.
So he had a portion of his thigh muscle removed, and he ate it in order to compare it to other meats. Describing the taste, he said, "It's pretty beefy, a bit lamby." And it's like he mixed it in with some other stuff. You can watch it. It's on YouTube.
I'm not watching.
It's not at all. You know, of course, I was just like, I gotta watch this guy eat himself, and then I was
hope he
just
got
like,
worms.
it's dumb.
How did he prepare it?
He had a big deal. Oh, you know what? He had a it turned out it was illegal what he was doing. So he had some sort of scientific like replica of it and ate it. It was such a
What a dink.
deal. Oh, totally. Like, you know, he should have gone through with it and just
If
did
you're going to
did
pretend
the
to be a
time.
cannibal, you need to have an arm with like a little bit of bone sticking out of the end of it, like in the cartoons. Like, and it has to leave like a teeth-shaped mark when you bite into it. That's the only thing I'll accept. Fucking making meatballs and other shit
What I
like
was saying,
that.
Greg Foote eats his arm. I love
Yeah.
it. It's but what about that title wouldn't sell? Did you know how long you could live on yourself?
I don't know.
Okay.
No idea.
So apparently NASA has an estimation on this. If I were going to be an astronaut and NASA was like, "Oh, by the way, you know, the arms and leg take up 40% of the body mass, which means that's like 68,000 calories. That's 39 days you could survive on yourself."
I got a
I'd
quick
be like,
question. How do you cut off that second arm?
You can't.
right.
That's why it's 39 days.
And not even 40.
That's right.
Well, you know, we did Yikes Murder and stuff, did an episode on body integrity disorder, body identity integrity disorder, and we come to find out that you can cut your arm off if you already have an arm cut off. You can go back and
Wow.
listen to that and figure out how desperate people are to lose limbs and that they do find a way.
When there's a will, there's a way.
Mells, reach into your Stephen King data bank and talk about survivor type, because as soon as we started talking about this, I started thinking about that.
Yes. So Survivor Type is a short story and really is just basically about a guy. He's not a good guy. He gets shipwrecked on an island and sort of just falls into madness, and he starts cutting off body parts and eating them, and he journals it the whole time. And it's like over time the journal entries just get, less and less because he's eating himself. So it's kind of like, I guess, Hannibal Lecter meets Castaway with Tom Hanks. That's what I'm
That's
thinking.
very,
Like,
very appropriate. And in the author's note, he asked a doctor about it, and the doctor said you'd never get that far because the shock trauma would kill you before you'd starve to death. Like
Right.
if that was your only method of, if you were going to eat yourself, then you die of shock and trauma before you starve to death.
yeah.
Well, thank goodness for that.
So
Just crazy to think about.
Yeah, it's also, but dementia, though? I mean, couldn't you just, like, power through it?
well, he was on heroin, so he got pretty far.
He got far because he when he got shipwrecked, he had a whole bunch of, like, drugs with him.
Oh,
So.
it's a heyday. Yeah.
Yeah.
party.
Yeah, he was, like I said, he wasn't a nice guy. But the one thing I do remember mostly from that short story was that he described eating, like, I believe his fingers, he called them lady fingers, which is like a type of cookie.
Yeah. Oh, I'm familiar.
So, yeah.
And he wasn't even a lady.
Nope.
This is the descent into madness had already started at this point, okay?
See, that's what it was.
Gonna read this. I have not read that.
It's in Skeleton Crew, in case anyone's looking for it.
I did read Skeleton Crew. I don't remember it. I have to read it again. All right. So, and isn't there something in in Firefly?
Oh, and Firefly. Cool. Get to talk about Firefly. I just watched it. They just had a marathon over the weekend. So
Ah,
Can it really be called a marathon, though?
there are 13 episodes and a movie.
man.
Okay,
be
13
sensitive, for
episodes
Christ's sake.
and a movie.
That is a mini marathon,
That's-
okay?
All right, so the Reavers were cannibals, and what they were was what happens is it's in the future. Earth's become uninhabitable, so humans are all over the galaxy. And there's a danger out in the outskirts of the galaxy of these things called Reavers, and what they do is they'll go to your settlement and capture you and eat you alive. And in the movie Serenity, we find out that the Alliance, who was the big corporate-run government, actually created them and was the reason that all of this shit happened.
Oh,
So, yeah. So if you're in space and you see a cruddy looking ship start following you, you should try to get away.
Run.
dude, I don't get it, but they're cannibals. Why aren't they eating themselves?
Well, they're not auto-cannibalism.
Yeah, they're not
They like to eat other
auto-cannibalistic.
people. They like to eat other people.
I've
Yeah, what
confused
happened was
myself.
The government gave them a drug to try to make this planet peaceful because they wanted everybody to kind of chill out. And what it did was it either made you really chill out to the point where you just sat there and didn't even care to eat anymore and you just died, or you went the opposite way and went nuts and wanted to eat everybody.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's like saying, all right, I'm going to take Prozac, but there's a side effect that turns me into a cannibalistic monster.
Sign me up.
yeah, you got those risks with everything.
They really are.
That must be why NASA did the study.
If I have to eat a couple of toes to cure my depression, I'm not above doing that.
I think this is going to be the last we talk about this a little bit. We're just going to wrap it up because there's a guy out there who ate his own eyeball.
Stop.
His name is Andre Thomas, and he's on death row in Texas. Before you feel sorry for this guy, he murdered his ex-wife and his 2 kids. Now, there's a picture of him. There's 3 pictures. One, he's got 2 eyes. One, he has 1 eye. One, he has no eyes. 5 days after the arrest, he removed his own eyeball. Then, after his conviction and his placement on death row, he removed his other eyeball and he ate it. The guy was diagnosed with schizophrenia. We're going to do a story on this. I think this deserves its own episode.
Wow.
I'm going to call in sick that day.
Did you know that eating eyeballs is also known as ocular cuisine? And it's a thing. Fish eyes are considered the most acceptable, but you can eat eel eyes, kind of a fish. Boiled sheep eyes. Mells, do they do that in the South? I do. They eat sheep balls. Rocky Mountain oysters.
Listen.
They eat balls off of just about anything.
yeah.
That is true. Like, maybe I've heard more about bull testicles than I have about sheep's, but I've never, no. I've never heard of anybody eating the eyeballs.
See, this is where Jurgen Brande should have gone for the balls instead of the dick. Probably would.
There you go. Yeah.
So, how do eyeballs taste? According to one eyeball consumer,
Eyeball consumer.
eyeball taster.
one that did a review.
Yeah.
It's on Yelp.
Yeah, exactly. Here's our Yelp review we found on eating eyeballs. They are very rich and fatty, like the fat on a beef brisket. That is really good. Okay, the texture is soft, melts in your mouth, not in your hand. There is some chewy muscle towards the back. Oh, Jesus. Okay. I guess that's your ocular nerve that's chewy back there. The inside has a metallic taste. Now that's interesting. Maybe it's the blood.
all the iron.
Yeah,
There is-
probably.
If you're eating enough chalk.
That's true. Just need some side of chalk will drain that right out. There is a hard sphere in the center you can't eat, so you... Jesus, this is... Okay, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm just going to power through this. There's a hard sphere in the center you can't eat, so you suck out the soft part and spit out the shell-like casing and spherical lens. Wow. Whoa. Wow.
So it's like eating a peach.
I like to eat the skin off of
Spit
a
out
peach.
this. Well, spitting out the pit.
Oh, the pit. Yeah, the peach
or
pit.
cherry or
Like an
something.
olive. Right? You just chew
Yeah.
on the outside and then you spit the pit out.
I'm just thinking this is like eating a shrimp that hasn't been peeled yet. You just, peel
There you
it,
go.
eat it.
Yeah.
Let's do a wellness check on Acadia. How are you holding up over there?
Not doing great.
I'm not gonna lie, like, I have seen, when you watch certain cooking shows, I have seen them where they serve eyeballs, and I don't get it. I don't want to see it. I don't want to eat it. And I'm also in the same vein of I don't want to eat fucking snails either, so I don't get that either.
I tried it once. It's not, it tastes like sausage, but I would just say, sausage is fine. I don't need to pay this much for, no,
Yeah,
I'm not doing it.
No. That's some fancy pants shit right there that I just...
Stupid France.
Yeah, we'll never know about
Yeah,
that.
those people are all messed up.
I thought the same people that do the things to the ducks, and they make them their liver's super fat, and then they cut it out. And,
Foie gras.
Yeah.
That's foie gras.
oh, that's fucked up, man.
I don't have a very wide palate. I stick to just a couple things like chicken nuggets and
That's good.
yeah.
I had fake fish sticks today. They were really good. They're actually
See, that's as sophisticated as I get on my palate.
good. Well, I have one thing that didn't make the cut. Really, that was about the sea squirt that digests its ganglion brain when it attaches to a rock. Everything about that sentence is awesome.
It sounds so cute.
I know.
Why does it eat its brain though?
It doesn't need it. It's a sea squirt.
Well, then why does it even
so-
have one to begin with?
So
That's
it
how
can
he
get
gets
to the rock.
Okay, I obviously don't even fucking know what a sea squirt is, so
I
let's
don't
just leave it at
either.
that.
I don't. It just sounds adorable.
It sounds like a character from SpongeBob.
That's what I'm saying. Like, where does it squirt? Okay, where does it squirt from? Why does it need a brain to go to a rock just to eat it? This seems like a very stupid life cycle.
I think we should do a show on this too. We should talk about this on a Patreon extra about
Yeah, like, what
the mystery of the sea squirt.
The life of the sea
What?
squirt.
Yeah, like,
The short, stupid life of a domestic sea squirt.
yeah.
We'll conclude, I suppose. This has been fun. But most of research for this disorder falls under pica or delusions associated with psychosis. Yet, with all the fetishes out there, there's no doubt we're going to be hearing more stories of intentional self-cannibalism as time goes on. So
these two cannibals are having dinner together. The first cannibal, we'll call him like Steve, says to the other cannibal, Connor, so, Connor, how's your mom? To which Connor replies, keep your eyes on your own plate. and just quickly, one thing we didn't talk about tonight, eating members of your own family or community is called endocannibalism.
Oh,
And that's the more you know.
oh, how about that?
Rainbow. More you know.
And if you just eat your buddies on the podcast, it's friendo cannibalism.
Does anybody got any more dumbass mom or dad jokes about cannibals?
No, I don't have a mom or a dad one, but I mean, like, I have the sense of humor of like a 4-year-old boy, so I have a plethora of cannibal jokes.
Okay.
Well, let's hear a couple of
I
them.
want to
then.
hear one.
Okay, hold on.
Oh,
Hey,
Get your joke voice ready.
here you go.
okay.
Hey, what did the guy do after dumping his girlfriend?
What?
He wiped his ass.
Ba-dum-bum.
Oh, that's going to be a little hard to digest.
Why won't cannibals eat divorced people?
Why?
Why?
They're too bitter.
I can't stomach these terrible jokes. What does a male cannibal eat to freshen his breath?
What?
What?
Mentos.
Aw.
In this case, his own.
Get out. That's our show for this year.
Thank you, everybody, for indulging me and letting me come on and talk about this. Our research today was brought to you by Karen from Spy Stories Podcast. We appreciate everything that you did to help us out, and just wanted to a little shout out to Spy Stories Podcast. Check them out. She did the research. It was awesome.
Thank you, Karen.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks.
Catch you later. Eat you later. I don't know. I don't even know how to end this.
You can
Keep your
find
eyes
us
on your own plate.
find us
Yeah.
Find us on Twitter at StrangefulPod. I am at Acadia. Mells is at MellsBells84. Shooey is at Shooey Time. And
I love
Ms.
that.
Sandwich is
The Jen Sandwich.
with one N.
Just one. Yeah, don't overdo it. I mean, there's also an N in sandwich, but
Yeah. There's two
They're not
N's, but not
together.
in a row.
all right, everybody. Well, thanks for listening, and we'll be back next week.
Bye.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.